Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to the second episode of the 0 to a Million Trading Guide. So, this episode we are on 10k as such. If you haven't checked out the previous episode, that's how to go from 0 to 10k on the web app, hopefully within the first hour of the web app being dropped. Now this video is going to be your first wave of investments you are going to want to do when the web app is dropped. And this is basically going to be your investments that you invest 1 hour or within the first few hours of the web app being dropped. Now what I mean by this is when everyone logs onto the web app, they will literally just throw their players up into the market for open bids. Like I might get Gabriel Jesus, throw him on the market for a bid. Might get Nizaquedo, throw him on the market for a bid. Get a Bibiani. And now all these cards are on the market on open bids, ending all at near enough the same time. But nobody has got coins. Now hopefully you would have made 10k via the first video. And now you've got that 10k to invest. So what we're going to talk about in this video is your first wave of investments. Now one thing I will say is you do probably want to keep yourself like 3-4k spare just so you can do some more like advanced SBCs or league SBCs. But yeah, in this video we are going to be covering wave 1 of investments. Now we will be splitting these into two sorts of players. Set of player 1 is going to be the players of which are going to be used in the league SBCs. So straight off the back there are 2 league SBCs dropped, especially as there was last year. We had the Super League and the Liga NOS. Well, as a result, there are going to be teams that have specific players where maybe there's rare positions. I won't go too much in tangent because, again, we still got to talk about the second one. So part 1 is going to be going for league SBCs. Part 2 is going to be going for players who are near discard but going to make it into starter teams. And we're talking about guys who are going to be relatively popular and mainly the Prem. So we're talking basically your pacey Prem players. So maybe it is Izaquedo, maybe it Nkudu, maybe your, I don't know, maybe Leroy Fer has a very good card. But basically looking at what you'd look at like Prem starter teams and basically what sort of cards we'd expect to rise throughout this day. You're not looking for your Gabriel Jesus's yet because at the moment you've only got 10k. So you don't want to be using that 10k for an all-in-one investment. You prefer to throw it onto the League SBC investments, which should go up and up and up as that, that evening as more and more people do the League SBCs. As well as you want to be picking up these starter players, because these starter players are going to start rising as they're going to be the first players who people can afford to invest in or pick up. And of course you want to get them before other people can afford to pick them up, because then you'll get them for a lower price. But first off, we're going to talk about how you know what a good investment on the league for the league SBCs. Okay, so what we're going to do is talk about part 1, which is how you can identify and know the players who are good for the league SBCs. There's literally about 3 different things you can do for this. The first one being very, very simple, and that is literally the first team on the list is very good to buy. Why? Because ever so surprisingly, people are very chronological when they do the league SBCs. So they start at the top and go all the way down to the bottom. As a result of the top one being done first, for the majority of people, those players get demanded more and more and more. Which means if that team is highly, highly dominated by silvers, and therefore a lack of supply in the market, those cards are going to get rarer and rarer and rarer. Even if they're gold and gold non-rare. Let's say the team has like 2 right backs, one's a silver rare, one's a gold non-rare. That gold non-rare could honestly sit about 3-4k. So, what we want to do is go through both the league SBCs and look, are there any positions with a lack of alternatives? So I mean by this, let's say it's a 4-3-3 and there's only 2 left mids, or only 2 right mids, or only 2 left backs, or only 2 right backs, or only a silver and bronze goalkeeper. Basically a lack of players in a certain position. Therefore you want to look to go and buy them and just sell them for lazy buys. Because a lot of people are doing these SBCs, the prices should fluctuate between going up and down, and how this is because of the mix packs we get at the beginning, giving both bronze, silver and gold. So the supply will be fluctuating left, right and centre. And then on top of that, you've got the demand will also be fluctuating. Again, I guess actually the demand should only increase and increase as more and more people jump on the game and start doing the SBCs. So part 1 of knowing which are the best league SBC investments to pick up is the first team. Now moving on to the second one, which is identifying teams that have a very low amount of golds and bronzes from it, therefore relying on silver rares and silver non-rares. These teams are very good because silvers are normally the rarest quality of card on FIFA. A little bit less so at the beginning when everyone's opening mix packs, but still they're a very rare quality. And let's say there again is there's a team where they have, for both left wing, right wing, left back and right back, there are only 2 options and both being silvers. These sort of players are going to be very, very expensive. So again, number 2 is identifying teams that are very silver dominated. And what is the best thing is the more positions where there are a lack of alternatives, the better. So again, let's say there is a 3-4-2-1 formation. This is 3 centre backs, a left mid, a right mid, a left forward and a right forward. As a result, this means you need 3 centre backs, and 2 left mids and 2 right mids. Well, let's say the team only has 5 centre backs, all silver, 3 right mids and 3 left mids. This means there is a very, very low amount of, like, you can't skip anyone for chemistry, basically, because left mids are going to be relatively expensive, right mids are going to be relatively expensive, and centre backs are going to be relatively expensive. In fact, I can actually use the Bonavento SBC from the Couch-Array, the one which has the Witch's badge on it. That one's very expensive because it has 3 left mids you can use, 3 right mids you can use, and like 6 centre backs, all being silver and bronze. And the left mids went up to like 12, 15k off release. And again, the right mids went 12, 15k, and the centre backs went around about 7, 8k. So these players are, you know, I'm not quite sure how they'll be at the beginning, but I mean, if they're definitely cheap, amazing to pick them up, because people will eventually keep going for these League SBCs, because everyone loves doing SBCs for packs. So again, that is the next thing to look for, are the silver-dominated teams. Thirdly, and the final thing when looking for League SBCs, is certain formations. So you'll see I went over the 3-4-2-1, because that has a high demand on like left mids and right mids and centre backs, because it needs 2 of each. Some other formations are the 3-4-3, which is the exact same. 3 centre backs, 2 left mids needed, and 2 right mids needing. When I do say left and right mid, it could be left mid, left wing, left forward, but it's just easier for me to say that. Other formations are the 4-2-3-1. This formation has 5 central players. It has those 3 cams and then 2 CDMs. You can of course go with the 4-2-2, needing 2 cams and 2 CDMs. You can go with the 4-3-1-2, needing 3 centre mids and 1 cam. And finally, you can go the 4-1-2-1-2 bracket 2, which needs 1 cam, 1 centre mids in each, and 1 CDM. Best formations, I would definitely say, are going to be the 4-2-3-1, needing 5 central players. And then you've got the other one, which is the 3-4-3 and the 3-4-2-1. So again, in these, for the wide formation, so they're again the 3-4-3 and the 3-4-2-1, you're looking for there to be 3 left mids and right mids or lower, because you have to use 2 out of the 3, especially if there are many. Even if there are gold, you got an example again like Genoa last year from the Couch-Array, which even though I had gold left and right mids of Laxa and there was some Portuguese guy, they're still very, very expensive, because you know, you're being forced to use at least 1 silver or bronze player, which is just pushing these guys' prices up. And again, if you're also having a 3 at the back, you can't really lose much on that. So again, you want to look for those formations where there's 3 or left mids and 3 or left right mids. Even if it's going for some of the gold investments, they can be very good. And likewise, you want to look for the back line if there are a lack of golds, therefore bronze and silvers being needed. And the... what else do we have? And then you've got the 4-2-3-1, which again needs 3 cams and 2 CDMs. With this, you want to see how many centre mids and cams a team has, because of course a CDM can only be using cam on 5 chemistry. So if a team, let's say, has 4 centre mids or cams, 3 of those 4 are having to be used in the formation. Therefore, if you have to use silver or bronzes, very good to invest in. An example of this year was Huddersfield, where you only had Aaron Moy as the gold centre mid, and all other centre mids had to be either silver rare, silver non-rare, bronze rare, bronze non-rare, and as a result they're sitting sometimes around about 3 to 5k, which, you know, is a fair bit. And there's a lot of mixed packs are being opened. These things could also come up to sniping, because people aren't aware of these League SBCs, they're just listing the players up. But if they're a really good deal, you know, if you're checking every now and again, you know, Bobby's around, you could be making some mucho dinero. So that is it covering League SBCs. So again, I'll run for it again. First off, you got the first teams on the list. Second, you have the teams which have a low amount of gold and silvers. And thirdly, you have the teams in a 4-2-3-1, a 3-4-3, and a 3-4-2-1 are the ideal formations. And again, you're looking for a lack of left mids, right mids, centre backs, and then for the 4-2-3-1, centre mid and cams. Now what I'll do is I'm going to go on to creating a little bit of a list, and especially stuff you're looking for. It'll be like FIFA 18 players, of players who I think could inflate a fair bit, because people are buying them for their starter teams. So the second set of players you guys can invest in are going to be your pacey, low-rated, low-price starter team players, because people might start buying their starter team players, you know, 2-3 hours in, maybe discard what they can and start buying their starter players. Now, presuming that these guys are under 2k, I'm be dropping you some of my recommendations. Now, one thing I'd say is the mash you'd probably want to pick up are going to be in the Premier League. And what you're looking for pacey players in the Premier League, believe it or not. So this could be left wings, right wings, left mid, right mids, left backs, right backs, or centre backs. Centre mid is not going to be so amazing. I mean, they could be good, but here is a small list of guys from the Premier League who I think could be good. Haven't really looked at the centre backs as much. It's more just looking at the left mids, left backs, and right backs. And And yeah, so one of the positions which I think is absolutely flooded with pacey players is left back in the Prem, so nothing too mad with that. Likewise with striker, you got like Callum Wilson, Diame. I don't know, you got quite a lot of them, so I don't really think there's too much to worry about. One thing I think which lacks middle of the road players is more left mids and right mids, because you've got the likes of like Willian, you've got the likes of Son, you've got the likes of Martial, but these guys can be quite expensive at the beginning. Even on the web app, you could probably see some of these guys send about 10k. So these guys are like 1-2k, middle of the road sort of. And these are some numbers I've got. So the first one is a Quader. I go to about earlier. Again, 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot, one of the fastest players in the Premier League. And we're sitting about 3-4k, I think, off of the web app last time. So if you can get him for under 2k, brilliant. The next guy I'm going to talk about is going to be Nkudu, the Spurs right mid. Again, this guy's got quite a nice combo because he's got Premier League plus France. Of course, France can be very, very popular at the beginning. A lot of really good players from France. Imagine, especially, hopefully, some of them will have really nice upgrades off of the back of the World Cup. Of course, Nkudu didn't play in the World Cup, but French, right mid, Premier League, you know, he's going to make it into those Premier League and those French squads. Next one I've got is Ricardo Pereira. Now, one thing I look for when investing is almost like the split up of pacey players. So, for instance, if I look at left back, right, they've got like Van Aanholt, they've got that guy from Liverpool, can't fully remember what his name is. They've got a lot of guys, you know, especially if they upgrade a few. They got like Shalup, who might get an upgrade, and you know, they got some numbers in the left back. They got what's called Musaku of West Ham. I'm butchered about 3 players there, but whereas if you go to the right back, there's just not so much. You do have the likes of Bellerin, Valencia, Walker, but we all know they're going to be super expensive. And then right back, I think you got the likes of like Neom and stuff, but there's just not that many pacey guys. Of course, with the new rendition of Ricardo Pereira to Leicester, I think he could be a good player. You know, Portuguese isn't really working in too much of a favour because there aren't really a mad amount of good Portuguese players. But yeah, I think, you know, right back probably gonna be sitting about that 80 rating. Not going to be too bad as long as he is cheap. Next player in the Premier we're going to go over to is Walcott. Again, if we're looking at right mids from the Prem, you really don't have that much of a selection. Even at like late stage of this FIFA, I mean, you've got what, Salah, Willian, and then it's kind of a little bit dead from there, from the top of my head. So as a result, you're looking at the middle of the road guys. You're looking at both Walcott and Zaha. You know, these guys are going to be very, very cheap, very, very fast. I mean, Zaha's got that 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot. And again, because they're only 80 and 81 rated, you can expect them being relatively cheap. Another one I'm going to throw out there, but not quite sure if it'll end up being too cheap, is Deulofeu of Watford. You know, because not only I guess is he a decent investment if we get a POTM Pereira, but the only problem with him, I think he could be quite expensive with the web app. You know, if we're saying 82 rated Spanish Prem, you know, he could be sitting at 3-4k, which is something I'd avoid him for. Now, what you can also go for, which I guess is the second lot of players, is those players that are attackers and fast where there's a lack in the league. The reason I'd go for non-prem players and make sure they're always attackers is just because like your left backs and right backs, you don't have Valencia and Walker. You might just have loads like maybe Cancelo, Perez from Roma. You know, there's going to be a lot more selection with low rated, whereas there doesn't seem to be so much for the Prem as such. So a few players we've gone up with is Inaki Williams. Again, he was a banger last year. He went up to 10k. I don't know if that was thanks to, you know, the man, the myth, the legend, Matt HD Gamer maybe hyping him up. But again, he went up from 10k. Probably only seen about 2k on the web app, so it wasn't too bad. Next person we got is Bellarabi. Again, if you look at the right mids from the Bundesliga, really not much to screw and shout about. You got the likes of Coman, I guess, which is also, but he's also probably going to be more expensive because he's French. So I mean, you got that German Bundesliga perfect chem link. Could be quite good, as there are a lack of right mids from the Bundesliga that are, again, we're always looking at middle of the road. We're not looking at discard, but we're not looking at like Robbins, and we're not looking at maybe like Royces as such. So we got the Willian, we got ourselves Bellarabi. Next person we do have is Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Now I do actually I've logged Felipe Anderson and Deulofeu on here because I completely forgot that these guys transferred. But these are the sort of players you're looking for. Again, in the right wings of the cow tray, they're just not going to have too much. They don't actually have Balde Dia, which is transferred, which might be quite nice, especially if they move Perez to a right back. Obviously, Felipe Anderson's transferred. Yeah, Balde Dia might not be a bad card. I mean, he was quite nice actually for Monaco as an investment last year. And again, another person I've got on there is Felipe Anderson and Deulofeu, of course, who's played for Barcelona. Looking at left mids from the La Liga, I'm not gonna lie, they're massively lacking. Tell you what, if Inu, the Japanese guy, ends up being quite good, might not be a bad play, but they don't really have too much. They've got Judes. Again, he might have quite a high rating off of for him having a decent season last year. But that's the sort of things you're looking for. Basically, in the Prem, you can look for really any position as long as they have pace or a little bit of demand for them. Whereas when you go to other leagues, you're always looking for attackers because people always, I feel like people are more reluctant to spend coins on their defense rather than their attack. So that's what you're looking to do. And once you bought them, you're just looking to keep on trying to sell them on lazy buys. You know, you buy a Ricardo Pereira for 2k, keep trying to sell him for like, I don't know, maybe like 4 to 7k. But you always want to also make sure that you're, you know, you're not mugging yourself off. Let's say you bought Ricardo Pereira for 3k, you slept on it in the morning, he's worth 7k, but you didn't realise and you used him up for like 6k lazy buyer, and therefore you're mugging yourself off. So always make sure, especially if you're trading with some more expensive players, make sure always stay on top of the prices. So this is going to be it for the first wave of investing and what to do, I guess, to go from 10 to 20k over on the web app. Now the next episode is actually quite interesting because it is me going through every single pack you can near enough get from an SBC. I'm talking about what is the must-do, what is the meh, and what is the, I'd kind of stay away from it, but it's the max I'd pay. And again, this can be another method to try and grind up your coins, not only, you know, on the web, of course, but in the first hour of FIFA being dropped. You know, if there's a 50k pack, or let's say a 45k pack for 6k, bang, you want to be doing it. And as I say, I'm going to basically make a chart, or make a little, I don't know, I think I was going to run it for an Excel, and talk through each different pack price. Again, we got like the 25 player, the 25 rare, the 35, the 45. I've even think I went down to Electrums, basically putting the discard price of them, putting the expected price of them, and then putting again what I'd prioritize, what I wouldn't prioritize. And you can just go through the league SBCs and the advanced SBCs and follow that guide. But that is it. That's just wrapping up this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like. If you haven't checked out the last episode, it's teaching you how to go from 0 to 10k to how to make your money. If you wish to drop I don't know, you can check out my Twitter. I do tweet when these videos go live and when I'm live streaming. You can check out the Twitch because I'll be live streaming 12 to 14 hours from probably around about, again, the 15th onwards when we're thinking the demo is going to get dropped. Because I'll also maybe be doing a little bit of writing of the trading guides up on those sort of streams. What else can you do? You can subscribe to the YouTube channel because you'll be updated. As I say, literally daily uploads during FIFA 19. You know, you probably don't want to be missing it as such. And yeah, potentially even double uploads as such. And of course, you've got the Road to Glory starting around about the 20th. So that's that. Thank you for watching the video. And I shall see you guys tomorrow with another video covering which are the best value for money SBCs to do in FIFA 19.